Alrighty, hey guys, it's Tessa. So, if you watched literally the video that just, the video I posted before this one, if you saw that one, you will know that I did not end up finishing that cardigan because I'm very frustrated with it and feel that I need to just take a little bit of a break from it and maybe research and develop my skills a little bit more before I return to it. However, that means that I can move on to the next cardigan. I don't make the rules, I just work here, okay? So, for this cardigan, we are making the Daft Days cardigan by Rebecca Clow. I will note, this is one of the patterns of hers I see her talk about the least. I'm not sure if there's really a reason behind this. It seems like when it originally came out, it was part of like a knit-along, so maybe that's why, but it just doesn't seem like it's super popular, at least in her like TikToks and stuff. She doesn't really talk about this one very often, but she talks about a lot of her other patterns. So regardless, go check it out, go have a good time, whatever. So for this pattern, I am using Wonderland Dye Works, this orange color. It's called Deep Embers. It's got a lot of nice like lighter and darker tones in it. And then this is the Sea Change Fibers, and this is a like brown gray, a brown like gray black color. And this colorway is Oat Isle, and I think together they just will go swimmingly. I think the contrast is really nice. As you see in the Daft Days cardigan, the like tan color is the main color and the rainbow mini skeins she used is the secondary color. For the purposes of my cardigan, the orange will be my primary and the brown will be my secondary. I'm gonna go line these skeins and then we are gonna work on the gauge swatch and go from there. I'll probably start the cardigan tonight. I don't know about that. I'm definitely gonna get through the gauge swatch tonight. Yeah, let me wind these up and I'll check back in. Okay, firstly, I finally got through stickering all my freaking business cards and all of my thank you notes for the event. For those of you who aren't following along with my mistakes here, basically I placed an order for like 500 total business cards and thank you cards, not realizing that the QR code I was using I would need to pay monthly for because I just didn't think that far ahead. So instead of paying for said QR code, because I don't trust websites in general with my credit card information, I then instead purchased a handful 350 little stickers that are my Instagram code, like the QR code for Instagram is that. So I just got done stickering all 250 business cards and like 100-ish of the thank you cards. So hopefully that'll be enough for the event. Anywho, if you want to know more about that, check out my series on the Halloween market event. Anyway. So, back on topic. I did my swatch last night and I was thinking it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good, and then I blocked it and then I realized I'm messing up on a row gauge. I'm four rows shorter than I should be. Excuse me. It takes me 4 more rows to get to the 4-inch mark than it should, and then I think stitch wise I'm doing okay. I don't really want to increase my needles at all. I'm using 3.75 by the way. It calls for 350, but I know my gauge isn't right with the exacts usually, especially when I'm using yarns like this where the density is slightly different from each one. But it doesn't look very thin, I'll give it that. but it is really thin. It's already pretty thin as it is. I like the drape, don't get me wrong. I'm just worried if I size up, it's gonna become gappy at that point, and I don't want that. So I think I'm gonna stick with my 3.75, and I think what I'm gonna just kind of do to get around it is either, I kind of conflicted. Part of me wants to knit Continental for this whole project, but that will make me blow my brains out because that means I'll have to purl Continental style the entire way, and that sounds awful. I really like the way this worked up though, just as a whole. Hopefully this will focus, but so I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to try to be more mindful of my gauge and estimate a little bit better on things. But I really like the way this turned out. I really like all the tones of the orange and the really deepness of the brown. I think it looks great. I think it looks really cute. It almost reminds me of like cobblestone, kind of, not really, but I think it looks really good. So I'm hopefully going to cast on today. I just don't have any needles. So first of all, I really like using circulars over straight needles. They're just more comfortable with my hands. Secondly, the circulars I use are the Likey copper set. Cypress, I think is what they call it. But essentially, I don't have very long cables for these circulars. So I think my plan is I'm gonna join 2 cables so that it's just slightly longer, and then cast on with that, and if that works out, that works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I'll recast on if I need to. But that is my plan currently. I'm gonna get to that. We'll check in once it's casted on. Alright, it is now the evening of tomorrow, and I got through a decent amount of my knitting. I'm on to the actual body of the project. I'm a little bit worried about gauge still, but I'm trucking. I want to get a couple of inches into this and then maybe do a test fit and see how it looks. I meant to check in when I was working on the ribbing last night, but it was like 10:30 when I went to bed and I was exhausted, so I didn't. And then during my lunch break today at work, it takes like 8 minutes per row, and I got through the remainder of the ribbing and started the brown. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, I gotta film once I get off of work. And then I got off of work and we had to run to the office supply store, can't remember the name of it. And so I did more knitting before I checked in. But that's where we're at currently. I'm hoping to get a couple more rows in tonight. All right, so this right here is why I hate doing gauge swatches. My initial gauge, let me double check this actually. My initial gauge I thought was 20 stitches per inch. It's 23 stitches per inch. So I need to rip out everything I've done, which sucks. I'm gonna do a bunch of math, which I hate doing, to figure out what size I need to make because I know there's a formula for it. But I'm a little frustrated. But this does mean I need a size of my needles, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm gonna figure this out. I'll check back in once I figure this out. Firstly, sorry if you hear the rain. I don't know if my camera's gonna pick it up or not. It picks up things like washing hands down our hallway, and then sometimes won't pick up my husband talking, but who knows, who cares? It's raining, I love it, doesn't matter. So, I finished the ribbing like I showed you. I hope I showed you. I think I did. And I got through one full repeat of the color pattern. So as you can see, I think it's looking pretty cute so far, if I do say so myself. But I have a whole nother, how far am I I got a whole another 10 inches. We got 10 inches to go before I'm at, I believe, splitting for the sleeves. Yeah, so I've got 10 more inches before I split for the sleeves, but that is going to take me forever to get to. So I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you stick around for the rest of this cardigan. Additionally, before I actually finish this video, I realized I purl really tightly. I didn't think I did. I thought my knit stitches were tight. Apparently it's my purl row that's really tight. So that's something to figure out. I don't really know how to fix that. But also in general, I want to get better about doing continental knitting. I tried doing continental, like just a row of continental on this. Once I realized my stitches were really tight on the right, or on the purl side. But I realized quickly that my tension is just way too loose with continental, because I knit English, or I might knit combination. I don't really know. I knit however I was taught. But when it comes to continental knitting, I just don't have a good tension because I'm left-handed and I learned to crochet first. I can't hold my yarn in my left hand when I'm knitting continental, so I knit backwards in continental. No, I can't even say it anymore. It doesn't even sound like a word. Basically, when I do that kind of knitting, because I have to hold my yarn in my right hand, I'm doing it the wrong way, the backwards way essentially. And so with that, my brain just has a harder time like managing my tension and managing my stitch picking as well. But yeah, so like I said, this is about in this video for now. I'm gonna try to get through some more of the body of this. I'm guessing this will be a lot like the fish sweater, where it was like a 4-part-ish series if I remember correctly. But it'll just depend. I have a feeling this cardigan's gonna take me a while to get through, to be completely honest. So I'm not really sure how many parts it'll be. But regardless, I hope you stick with me along the way. I hope you come and hang out with me during my trials and tribulations. And if you want to get notifications, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.